Black Dreams on the Big Screen, a script that could become one of Hollywood's biggest movies, but the person who wrote it was never even allowed in the meeting room. He was seen as just a ghostwriter who shouldn't have his name in the credits. But how did this hidden genius start a movie revolution that shook the whole world? David created stories that could change the world every time he put pen to paper. But Hollywood's bright lights never shined on people like him. He was just a talent that should stay in the shadows, someone whose name should never be known. Someone else would take the credit, someone else would get the applause, someone else would stand on stage at the awards. Because David's only crime was having black skin. For years, David had watched others steal his work, but he had finally had enough. His latest script was powerful, powerful enough to change his life forever. A big producer wanted to buy it, but there was one condition: his name could never be on it. At that moment, David made a decision that would change everything. He could stay invisible, or he could expose Hollywood's dirty secret and write his own story. He came up with a plan. He sent his script to a major producer, but under a fake name, a white name. Instantly, the industry was buzzing. "This might be the best script of the year," they said. But when David revealed his real identity, everything changed. Producers, award-winning directors, and the media, they all lost their minds. "How could he have written this story?" they asked. But it was too late. David had written a script that would make history and deliver the biggest blow to Hollywood's racism. Now everyone knew his name. Now his dreams weren't just on the big screen. They had his name on them too. But this story isn't over. Because Hollywood's real face was just starting to be revealed. The backlash was immediate. Some executives tried to bury the controversy, dismissing it as a misunderstanding, while others outright denied David's claims. But the truth was out, and people were listening. His story spread like wildfire, igniting debates on racial discrimination in the entertainment industry. One person who took notice was Lisa Carter, a fearless journalist known for exposing corruption in Hollywood. She reached out to David for an exclusive interview. Sitting across from her in a dimly lit cafe, David recounted years of invisibility, stolen ideas, and closed doors. Lisa, sensing the weight of his words, promised to bring his story to the world. Her article, titled "The Black Voice Behind Hollywood's Biggest Films," sent shockwaves through the industry. Meanwhile, David's so-called anonymous script had reached the hands of one of the most influential directors in the business, Richard Lawson. Unlike the executives, Richard wasn't afraid of controversy. He had always believed in giving talent a fair shot, regardless of background. When he learned that the script he loved was written by a black writer who had been silenced for years, he made a bold move. He publicly offered David a chance to direct his own screenplay. The announcement was met with mixed reactions. Some celebrated the decision, while others whispered that David was inexperienced and not ready for such a big role. But Richard believed in him. "If you can write something this good, you can bring it to life," he told David. And for the first time in his career, David felt seen. As production began, David faced new challenges. He wasn't just fighting for a seat at the table. He was fighting to prove that he belonged there. Some crew members doubted him, assuming he had only gotten the job because of the controversy. Others sabotaged his work, hoping he would fail. But David refused to back down. He poured everything he had into the film, staying up late to perfect each scene, rewriting dialogue to make it even sharper, and working closely with actors to bring his vision to life. He found an unexpected ally in Maria Delgado, a rising actress who had also been overlooked because of her heritage. Together, they formed a bond, understanding each other's struggles in an industry that often ignored people like them. As the project gained momentum, David started to realize that his personal fight wasn't just about the recognition. It was a fight against a system that had historically silenced voices like his and Maria's. The more he worked on the film, the more he began to weave themes of social justice, equality, and identity into the script, making it not just a movie, but a statement. His film became a symbol of rebellion, not only against the Hollywood elite, but also against the oppressive systems that had been ingrained in the culture for generations. However, as the project gained momentum, a secret from the past threatened to derail everything. A powerful studio executive, Ethan Walker, had been one of the people who stole David's earlier work. If David's film became a hit, it would expose Ethan's past misdeeds. Desperate to protect his reputation, Ethan started pulling strings to get the film shut down. Suddenly, funding was cut, and the studio tried to pull David from the director's chair, citing creative differences. But David had fought too hard to give up now. With Richard's support, they took the independent route, raising funds through investors who believed in the project. It was risky, but they pushed forward. Meanwhile, Lisa Carter continued her investigations and discovered something shocking. Ethan Walker had orchestrated the erasure of multiple Black creatives in Hollywood. She published a hard-hitting exposé detailing decades of injustice, stolen work, and buried careers. The scandal rocked Hollywood to its core, putting pressure on major studios to change their ways. Despite all odds, David finished the film. As filming wrapped, anticipation for the movie grew. Critics were already speculating about whether David could deliver, while some tried to dismiss his success as a one-time lucky break. But David wasn't seeking approval. He knew his work would speak for itself. On the night of the premiere, the theater was packed. Executives who once rejected him sat in the audience, waiting to see if he would fail. The lights dimmed, the screen flickered to life, and within minutes, the audience was captivated. Scene after scene, his story unfolded with raw emotion, striking dialogue, and breathtaking cinematography. As the credits rolled, a hush fell over the room. Then, the applause started. First a few claps, then a thunderous standing ovation. David sat in his seat, overwhelmed. The boy who was told he would never see his name on the big screen was now watching it shine in golden letters. But David wasn't done. His fight wasn't just about one movie, it was about changing an entire system. With his newfound success, he vowed to open doors for others like him, ensuring that no more Black writers would be forced into the shadows. He became an advocate for underrepresented voices, working to establish programs and initiatives to mentor young Black filmmakers and writers who had long been denied opportunities. In the years that followed, David continued to push boundaries, using his platform to speak out against systemic racism in all industries. He partnered with global organizations to bring attention to the lack of diversity in the film industry and beyond, advocating for change and inclusion on a larger scale. His message was simple but powerful. Talent knows no color. Creativity knows no color. The world needed to hear everyone's story, not just the ones deemed acceptable. His influence grew. He was invited to conferences, panels, and film festivals where he would talk not only about his own journey, but about the need for systemic reform. In interviews, he often said, "It's not just about making it. It's about making sure others can make it too. We all have a story to tell, and it's time we start listening." By the time David had directed his second film, he had become an iconic figure in Hollywood, not just as a filmmaker, but as a leader for change. He had proven to the world that one person's voice could spark a revolution and that the system could be changed from within. And as for Ethan Walker, his career never fully recovered. The scandal had tarnished his reputation, and he became a symbol of everything that was wrong with the industry. But David's success became a shining example of how the power of a single story could bring about lasting transformation. With every new project, David's impact on the industry grew. His work, his voice, and his story had become a beacon for those who had long been forgotten. In the end, Hollywood did change. Not because of one film, but because of one man who refused to be silenced. Because of one man who refused to let his dreams be stolen again. This brings us to the end of this story. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating stories. Have a wonderful day.